आज का हमारा टॉपिक है एलिमेंट्स ऑफ कॉस्ट। तो वेरिएबल कॉस्ट के तीन मेन एलिमेंट्स होते हैं: मटेरियल कॉस्ट, लेबर कॉस्ट और ओवरहेड एक्सपेंसेस। मटेरियल कॉस्ट फर्दर क्लासिफाइड होती है एज डायरेक्ट मटेरियल कॉस्ट एंड इनडायरेक्ट मटेरियल कॉस्ट। लेबर कॉस्ट भी फर्दर क्लासिफाइड होती है एज डायरेक्ट लेबर कॉस्ट एंड इनडायरेक्ट लेबर कॉस्ट। और एक्सपेंसेस भी फर्दर क्लासिफाइड होते हैं एज डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस एंड इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस। इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस को ओवरहेड एक्सपेंसेस कहते हैं। मटेरियल कॉस्ट, दिस इज द कॉस्ट ऑफ मटेरियल or the commodity used by the organization for its production process. It can be direct or indirect. Direct material cost formed an integral part of the finished product and is identified with the individual cost center. Example: purchase raw material, primary packaging material. Indirect material cost is used for ancillary purposes of the business and cannot be conveniently identified with the individual cost centers. Example: consumable stores, oil, waste printing, and stationery cost. Labor cost. This is the cost incurred in the form of remuneration paid to the employees or laborers of the organization. It can be direct or indirect. Direct labor cost is the cost incurred on those employees who directly take part in the manufacturing process and easily identified with the individual cost center. Indirect labor cost is the cost incurred on those employees who do not directly take part in the manufacturing process and cannot be identified with the individual cost center. Example: salary of foreman, salesman, director. Direct and indirect expenses. These are the costs of services provided to the organization. It can be direct or indirect. Direct expenses are the expenses which can be directly identified with the individual cost centers. Example: higher charges of machinery, cost of defective work for a particular job. Indirect expenses are the expenses which cannot be directly identified with the individual cost centers. Example: expenses on telephone, lighting, rent.